The last person I expected to sit beside in a courtroom was my ex-girlfriend's mother. She was holding my hand like she was afraid that if she let go, everything in her life would fall apart. Then she looked at me with tears in her eyes and whispered, "Don't let go yet." I had driven her there because I thought I was simply helping someone who needed a ride. I had no idea that by walking into that divorce hearing with her, I would uncover years of hidden pain, learn the truth about my past relationship, and discover that sometimes the people who hurt us are also the people who need our kindness the most. Before we begin this emotional journey, make sure to subscribe to Whispered Maybe Stories. Leave a like if you believe small acts of kindness matter, and share your thoughts in the comments. You never know when one simple decision can change someone's entire life. 3 years earlier, I thought I had lost the love of my life. Her name was Emily. We met in college, and for a while everything felt perfect. She was the kind of person who could walk into a room and make everyone feel comfortable. She laughed loudly, cared deeply, and always believed there was good in people. Her family was important to her, especially her mother Linda. When I first met Linda, she was warm and welcoming. She treated me like I was already part of the family. She would make extra food when I visited, and always asked about my job, my dreams, and my future. But things started changing after a few years. Emily and I began fighting more often. Small disagreements turned into bigger arguments. We were both stressed, both stubborn, and both too proud to admit we were hurting. One night after a terrible argument, Emily told me something I never forgot. "Maybe we're not meant to be together anymore," she said quietly. I waited for her to take it back. She didn't. A few weeks later, we ended our relationship. The hardest part wasn't losing Emily. The hardest part was losing the family I had become attached to. I stopped talking to Linda because I thought it would be easier for everyone. I moved on with my life, but I never forgot them. Then, almost 2 years later, I received a phone call from a number I didn't recognize. When I answered, I heard a familiar voice. "Is this you?" It was Linda. I was surprised. "Linda, is everything okay?" There was a long silence. Then she said, "I need a favor, and I understand if you say no." Something about her voice worried me. "What happened?" She took a deep breath. "My divorce hearing is tomorrow. I don't have anyone who can take me." I didn't know what to say. Linda had been married to Emily's father for almost 30 years. To hear that they were getting divorced felt impossible. "Where is Emily?" I asked. Another silence. "She doesn't know I called you." That sentence made me even more confused. "Why me?" Her voice became softer. "Because you were always kind to me, and right now, I need someone kind." The next morning, I drove to Linda's house. When she opened the door, I almost didn't recognize her. She looked tired, not just physically tired, but emotionally exhausted. The woman who always seemed strong now looked like someone who had been carrying a heavy weight alone for years. "You didn't have to come," she said. "I know," I replied, "but I wanted to." She smiled slightly. "Thank you." The drive to the courthouse was quiet. The radio played softly, but neither of us spoke much. Finally, Linda looked out the window and said, "I'm sorry." "For what?" "For how things ended between you and Emily." I looked at her, but didn't answer. She continued, "I always thought you were good for her." Those words surprised me. "Linda, we both made mistakes." She shook her head. "No. I watched my daughter push away someone who truly cared about her." I didn't know how to respond. The courthouse was crowded. People were walking quickly, carrying papers, and trying to hide their emotions. As we waited outside the courtroom, Linda sat beside me. Her hands were shaking. "I never imagined I would be here," she whispered. I looked at her. "Are you sure this is what you want?" She nodded, but tears filled her eyes. I spent 30 years trying to save a marriage that was already gone. Then she told me the truth. Her husband had become distant years ago. He stopped communicating, stopped showing affection, and eventually admitted he no longer wanted the life they had built together. But Linda stayed, because she was afraid. Afraid of starting over. Afraid of being alone. afraid of disappointing everyone. I kept telling myself that if I tried harder, things would change. But sometimes holding on to something broken hurts more than letting it go. Those words stayed with me, because I realized I had done the same thing with Emily. I had spent months wishing we could go back to the way things were, instead of accepting that we had changed. When the courtroom doors opened, Linda stood up. That's when she reached for my hand. Her fingers wrapped around mine tightly. I looked at her. "Are you okay?" She looked at me with tears rolling down her face. "I'm scared." I squeezed her hand. "You're not alone." The hearing was emotional. There were moments of sadness, moments of silence, and moments where two people who once loved each other had to accept that their journey together was ending. After everything was finalized, Linda walked out of the courtroom slowly. She stopped near the hallway and suddenly grabbed my hand again. "Don't let go yet." I froze. She looked embarrassed. "I'm sorry, I don't want to walk through this moment alone." I understood then. She wasn't asking me to stay because of the past. She was asking because for that one moment, she needed someone who cared. So, I stayed. We sat outside the courthouse for almost an hour. Then something unexpected happened. Linda's phone rang. It was Emily. Linda looked at the screen and started crying. "She knows," she whispered. "Knows what?" "That I called you." She answered. I could hear Emily's voice from across the bench. She sounded upset at first. But then Linda said something that changed everything. "No, Emily, he didn't do anything wrong. He helped me because he has a good heart." There was silence. Then, Linda handed me the phone. I wasn't ready to hear Emily's voice again. "Why did you do this?" she asked. I didn't know what to say. "Because your mom needed help." Another silence. Then she whispered, "I don't understand how you can still be kind to us after everything." I looked at Linda. Because not everything that ends badly means everyone involved is bad. Emily started crying. We talked for a few minutes, not about getting back together, not about the past, just about forgiveness. A few weeks later, Emily and I met for coffee. We were different people by then. We talked about what happened between us, and finally admitted that we both had things we needed to learn. We didn't magically fix everything overnight, but we forgave each other. And Linda? She started a new chapter of her life. She moved into a smaller home, reconnected with old friends, and started doing things she had always wanted to do. Months later, she called me and said something I will never forget. "You gave me more than a ride that day. You reminded me that I still mattered." That sentence changed how I looked at kindness forever. Sometimes we think helping someone means doing something huge, saving a life, changing the world. But sometimes, helping someone is simply showing up. It's sitting beside someone when they are afraid. It's holding a hand when someone feels alone. It's choosing compassion even when the past is complicated. I thought I was driving my ex's mother to a divorce hearing. But in reality, she was teaching me something I needed to learn. People are not defined by their worst moments. Relationships are not only about how they end. And kindness has a way of returning to us in ways we never expect. So if someone needs you today, even in a small way, don't underestimate the power of being there. Because one simple act of kindness can become the moment someone remembers they are not alone.